back with Raving Eagle Media's Mike and Rob show. Raving? Raging?
Raving.
Raving?
You had it right.
I had it right. That's amazing. That's happened twice now in forever.
Yeah.
So anyway, today we're going to go a little bit over TV stuff we're digging lately. I don't really have a favorite TV series currently. I think Last Ship's probably the closest thing I have right now, and I've only watched season 1, so I got season 2 to pick up and watch. But so far it's been pretty good, and I know it's an evil Michael Bay series, but they've been blowing stuff up quite effectively. Little different spin on the world coming to an end thing. I'm sure 10 or 12 episodes down the road, Texas will show up as a cool place, because it always does whenever the world comes in. Texas never gives up, because we're studly like that.
That's one I kind of been wanting to check out. I haven't gotten around to it because it's the whole virus apocalypse thing.
They've been beating that into the wall for a couple of years now.
So the one that I checked out and finished the entire series, and I'm going to suggest, Mike actually told me to go check out. I caught a little bit of it in the break room at the day job and said, yeah, I have to check this out. The Expanse.
Awesome.
If you haven't seen it, you should. It's kind of a gritty science fiction in and of the fact of, it's scientifically accurate that, gravity on planetoids and stuff would be lower than on Earth. Ships won't have gravity unless they have a spinning section or acceleration. Everybody wears mag boots in case of an emergency.
It's a little more grittier version of space, what we would come to expect if we actually got out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and what's nice is, like Mike said, a little grittier version. We're not out of the solar system yet. One group is actually building a ship to go out of the solar system.
Yeah, and it's based on a book series. You can look it up if you want. I think they're on book 5 or 6. It gets a little more in depth. It gets a little more fun. The characterization's really well written so far. Season 1 is kind of here's the people. Here's what's going on. That's it. There's not much else to season 1. It's a very long intro series. It gets you into the stuff like that Earth and Mars are pretty much the dominant powers and everybody else is along for the ride as we hammer it out with each other, because we're at a kind of a Cold War-ish type state, I feel, in the series. I watched it too. I actually told him to watch it because I watched it first, and I figured he'd like it. It's if they follow the course and don't mess it up, it should be a very strong series for a long time.
Yeah. And
sci-fi has not got a history of doing well with series after a couple of years. I mean, they couldn't even not mess up Stargate because they couldn't even keep it going. But anyway, and then Universe, we just won't go there because that's just bad.
No.
Bad.
No.
Stargate proper, very good series. Atlantis isn't even that bad because, you got some good stuff going on, you got some hotties, you got all kinds of good stuff going on because you learn from Star Trek. You start getting a little rough, throw on some hot chicks, everything goes good because geeks dig that. So anyway, Expanse is good. Last Ship, I'm hoping they build on it. I think they've done a nice job so far, but it's only a season. As far as longer term stuff, because one season is not really enough to say, hey, this is awesome or not, because both these are short series. Supernatural's been pretty good for about 8 seasons that I've enjoyed it. I think it's got a little repetitive. The last thing I watched was the Men in Letters arcs, so that's around season 8-ish, somewhere in there, when the crazy, what's that chick, the harbinger of the devil or whatever,
Lilith?
One of the 4, nah, we're past that, but I don't remember. The lady that came from the past that his grandfather shows up, their grandfather shows up. I like some of the stuff they've done. I don't like that they've just pretty much killed off every additional cast member that they've added. I really think that they should have tried to hold on to, what's the old dude's name? That was the... Like, they killed off all the people at the Roadhouse, then they killed off, Beaver's character.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like a quintessential piece of the series. They keep trying to make it a lone wolf series, and I don't think it needed to be that. I think it could have, more depth would have done it some good. Here's
one of the things, like we said, not everybody should like the same things. There needs to be diversity. Me and my fiance, we stopped watching it towards we didn't even finish the whole battle between Michael and the devil.
Yeah, and that's like season 5.
Yeah,
somewhere
we got a little...
Maybe 6.
I forget what aggravated us about that. We stopped watching. Mike carried it on, and I've almost wanted to pick it up because he's been telling me about Crawley, and I really enjoy the actor.
If it wasn't for him, I'd give up. If
Yeah.
it wasn't for him being in it, I would have gave up. And mind you, I haven't watched an episode in 3 months now.
Yeah.
I just get them all on DVD. So I generally, series I don't really watch on TV. I generally wait for it to come out, so I'm always a year behind, almost always. That's why last ship I'm on season 1. Well, season 2 I got laying around here somewhere. I haven't watched it yet. I mean, if you get down to that kind of stuff, I really don't watch a ton of stuff unless it's sci-fi and it caught my attention somewhere. So it's not like I'm going to watch CSI or NCIS or any of that nonsensical stuff for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not going to float my
Yeah.
boat.
I used to watch it. It doesn't hold my interest anymore, you know, especially just because I've gotten to the point where I enjoy a little more realistic thing. And yes, okay, so speculative stuff, sci-fi, fantasy is not realistic, but in the point, like someone pointed out, you know, in CSI they come through at just the right time with the test to save the day, and that's not how it works. You know,
Sometimes, but not always.
You know, things are backlogged in most labs and stuff, but that's not really what we're here to talk about. To showcase another thing, because we do talk a lot about science fiction kind of stuff. We got through, me and my fiance Melinda, we got through and we watched the Shannara Chronicles, which was actually done by MTV. If you like fantasy, it's kind of like a fantasy post-apocalyptic thing, you should check it out. It was actually very well done, we thought. The effects were handled consistently. They were, I wouldn't say anything was, you know, blockbuster movie quality effects, but none of it was ever, I never felt it was really cheesy. The story went through, it had some, like I've said in some other things, it had some tropes. Tropes are not necessarily good, bad, sometimes they're necessary. So it was good. We enjoyed it, we watched it all the way through. You should give it a watch, and I think, you know, it should get a second season, because there is more story there to tell.
Well, there's a lot of books on it. It's been written a long time. So.
Oh yeah, but where, like, we checked out the books, and they jump ahead several, like, you know, sometimes hundreds of years. The way they did their interpretation of it to make it a series, there is more story to tell. They actually set up for more story, and it could go a lot further. And I think it should get a second season, just like the two that we've already mentioned should get a second season if they're going to be done right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. They need to, last ship's on season 3, so it's at least going to have 3. We'll see where they go from there. And then, not much else out there I'm watching right now. I mean, most of the series I watched have ended up, because most sci-fi is on hiatus or on break right now. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of anything new coming out for a while.
Not for a while.
Anyway, that's it for now. We'll find something else to rant about when it comes to series. I'll give him something interesting. Find something interesting for him to watch. It's toasty in here. Sorry about that, Holmes. But anyway, we'll be back after these messages.